Westboro Baptist Church. Westboro Baptist Church, WBC, is a fringe hate group based in Topeka, Kansas, notorious for its inflammatory protests. The group is led by members of the Phelps family and uses extreme Christian rhetoric to condemn LGBTQ+ people, Jews, Muslims, and even fellow Christians. WBC gained national attention for picketing military funerals with signs like "God hates fags." They believe that national tragedies are God's punishment for societal acceptance of homosexuality and other sins. Fred Phelps, the church's founder, built a theology centered around divine wrath and damnation. The group is Calvinist in name, but warps the tradition into something deeply antagonistic and hostile. WBC is small, fewer than 100 members, but disproportionately visible due to its extreme tactics. Legal rulings have protected many of their protests under the First Amendment. Most religious organizations have denounced them. The Southern Poverty Law Center categorizes WBC as a hate group. Black Hebrew Israelites. The Black Hebrew Israelites, BHI, are a collection of religious sects that assert that black people, particularly African Americans, are the true descendants of the ancient Israelites. While some BHI groups focus on spirituality and cultural identity, others promote deeply hateful ideologies. Extremist factions are known for anti-Semitic beliefs, claiming that modern Jews are imposters. They often preach misogyny, anti-white sentiment, and homophobia. Public displays, especially street preaching, frequently involve shouting slurs and confronting passersby. The ideology is built on the idea of divine racial superiority and biblical retribution. Some sects believe that only black people will be saved in the end times. BHI theology is a radical reinterpretation of the Bible through a racial lens. These more extreme sects are monitored by civil rights organizations. Their presence is growing online and in urban centers across the U.S. Unification Church. The Unification Church, also known as the Moonies, was founded in South Korea in 1954 by Sun Myung Moon. It gained notoriety for mass weddings and cult-like practices. The church preaches that Moon was the Messiah, sent to complete the work of Jesus. It has faced criticism for anti-Semitic statements, particularly blaming Jews for Jesus' death. The church also promotes traditional gender roles and strongly condemns homosexuality. Critics accuse it of mind control tactics and financial exploitation. Members are encouraged to cut ties with non-believers, including family. The group has significant political influence and global business interests. Though it tries to appear mainstream, its theology remains controversial. The church has been labeled a cult and a hate group by various watchdog organizations. Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam, NOI, is a religious political group that emerged in the 1930s in the U.S., blending Islam with black nationalist ideology. It promotes self-determination for black Americans but has long been criticized for hate speech. Leaders like Louis Farrakhan have repeatedly made anti-Semitic and anti-white remarks. The group teaches that white people were genetically created to oppress black people. Its theology is not accepted by mainstream Muslims. While it has promoted positive messages of black pride and discipline, these are overshadowed by bigotry. The NOI believes that black people are the original humans and that God is black. It has promoted conspiracy theories involving Jews, the U.S. government, and science. Though not violent, its rhetoric can be divisive and dangerous. Civil rights groups like the SPLC consider it a hate group. La Familia Michoacana. La Familia Michoacana is a Mexican drug cartel that fuses criminal enterprise with pseudo-religious ideology. Its leaders distribute Bibles and spiritual texts to members, justifying violence as divine will. The group enforces a strict moral code among its own ranks, including bans on drug use. Ironically, it profits heavily from methamphetamine production and trafficking. It promotes a cult-like loyalty, positioning itself as a protector of the poor against corrupt elites. The cartel has been responsible for countless acts of violence, including torture and beheadings. Leaders preach redemption and spirituality while overseeing brutal executions. The religious angle serves as both propaganda and psychological control. Authorities have arrested or killed key leaders, but splinter groups remain active. La Familia is a prime example of how religious language can be co-opted to legitimize crime. Christian Identity Movement. The Christian Identity Movement is a white supremacist religious ideology that twists Christian teachings to promote racial hatred. It claims that white Europeans are the true descendants of the ancient Israelites. Conversely, it teaches that Jews are imposters and descendants of Satan. The movement also dehumanizes people of color and supports racial segregation. Its adherents often advocate for a theocratic, whites-only America. Christian identity has inspired various terrorist acts and militia movements. Its theology blends fringe biblical interpretations with outright racism. The movement lacks a central organization, but is influential in white nationalist circles. It often overlaps with neo-Nazi and Klan ideologies. The SPLC and ADL classify it as an extremist hate group. Islamic State. The Islamic State, ISIS, is a jihadist militant group that gained global infamy for its brutality and extremist interpretation of Islam. It aims to establish a global caliphate governed by Sharia law. ISIS is known for mass executions, beheadings, sexual slavery, and destruction of cultural heritage. It targets not only non-Muslims but also Muslims who do not adhere to its radical views. The group views Shiites, Yazidis, Christians, and many others as apostates deserving death. ISIS's rise was fueled by regional instability in Iraq and Syria. Its propaganda machine recruited followers from around the world. The group justifies violence through a literalist and warped reading of Islamic texts. Although its territorial control has diminished, its ideology persists. It remains one of the most dangerous religious hate groups in recent history. The New Black Panther Party. The New Black Panther Party, NBPP, is a black nationalist organization that emerged in the 1980s, claiming to follow the legacy of the original Black Panther Party, though it is disavowed by the original founders. Unlike the civil rights-oriented original, the NBPP has embraced anti-Semitic and anti-white rhetoric. Its leaders have praised violent revolution and made inflammatory public statements. The group promotes the idea of black self-rule and separation from white-dominated society. It also engages in paramilitary-style activism. The Anti-Defamation League and Southern Poverty Law Center listed as a hate group. The NBPP distorts historical grievances into fuel for racial animosity. It frequently invokes religious themes in its rhetoric, often combining Islam and Afrocentrism. Their public demonstrations have drawn controversy and legal scrutiny. Despite their aggressive posture, their membership remains small and fragmented. Lehava. Lehava is an Israeli extremist group whose name is an acronym for Prevention of Assimilation in the Holy Land. It aims to prevent relationships between Jews and non-Jews, particularly targeting Arab men and Jewish women. The group is rooted in radical Orthodox Jewish ideology and is closely linked to followers of Rabbi Meir Kahane. Its members have engaged in public harassment, threats, and violent speech. Lehava organizes protests outside weddings and interfaith events. It claims to be protecting Jewish identity but uses aggressive and xenophobic tactics. The group opposes LGBTQ+ rights and has threatened pride events in Israel. Lehava's actions have drawn condemnation from across the Israeli political spectrum. Despite limited membership, it garners attention through provocations. Israeli authorities have debated whether to designate it as a terrorist group. League of the South. The League of the South is a white supremacist organization advocating for a second Southern secession in the U.S. It combines Christian fundamentalism with neo-Confederate ideology. The group believes that white, Christian, Southern culture is superior and under threat. It calls for the formation of an independent, whites-only Southern nation. The League supports traditional gender roles and opposes immigration, multiculturalism, and interracial marriage. Leaders often reference divine will in support of white rule. Its rhetoric is steeped in religious language and lost cause mythology. The group has participated in violent rallies, including the 2017 Charlottesville Unite the Right event. It operates primarily in the southeastern United States. The SPLC identifies it as a racist hate group. The Aryan Brotherhood. The Aryan Brotherhood is a white supremacist prison gang that evolved into a violent hate group. Though originally formed for protection in U.S. prisons, it quickly became known for organized crime and racial violence. It mixes Nazi symbolism with distorted Christian imagery. Members often get swastika tattoos and call themselves soldiers of a racial holy war. The Brotherhood is responsible for murders, drug trafficking, and extortion inside and outside prison. Its belief system supports white dominance and race war. Religion is used mainly as a tool for tribal identity and justification of violence. The group has alliances with other white nationalist organizations. Law enforcement considers it one of the most dangerous prison gangs in America. Its ideology continues to spread through the penal system. Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan, KKK, is a white supremacist hate group that has terrorized minorities in the U.S. since the Reconstruction era. It promotes Christian nationalism, seeing white Protestants as superior to all others. The KKK has committed thousands of acts of racial violence, including lynchings and bombings. Its members wear white robes and hoods and conduct rituals using burning crosses. The group opposes blacks, Jews, Catholics, immigrants, and LGBTQ+ people. It falsely frames its mission as religious and patriotic. Despite its decline, splinter Klan groups still exist across the U.S. The KKK has had several revivals, particularly in times of civil rights progress. Law enforcement monitors Klan factions due to their violent history. The group remains one of the most infamous symbols of American racism. If you liked this video, you won't want to miss our next one: 10 most dangerous religious leaders in history. From self-proclaimed messiahs to cult masterminds, we explore the dark legacies of those who used faith to control, deceive, and destroy. Discover how charisma and doctrine became tools of power and manipulation. Subscribe now so you don't miss this chilling countdown.